All right, welcome to your 3-minute crash course from Wiley Manager. And on this week's podcast, Bob, we're talking about the Vroom Yetton model.
We are indeed.
Please tell me more. What the heck is a Vroom Yetton model?
Well, it's a decision-making model written by these two guys. Their names Vroom and Yetton, hence the name, the Vroom Yetton model. And back in the 70s, they put this thing together. So we're going to talk about why this is different than other decision-making models. We're going to talk about the 5 decision-making styles that Vroom and Yetton talk about. And we'll talk about how to choose the most appropriate style.
All right, now we only have 3 minutes, so quickly, how's it different than some of the others?
Well, what the Vroom Yetton model does, a lot of other decision-making models, they lead you through all the various elements you need to do in order to make a decision. What a lot of them miss, and what Vroom Yetton model picks up, is that the situation in which a leader or manager is in when they make that decision. Right, so it's a situational thing, right? So it's about as much as how the decision gets made as anything else. So again, with other decision making models, you collect your information, you brainstorm, you try to determine cause and effect, you brainstorm possible outcomes, and so on. With the Vroom Yetton model, they ask you to what sort of situation are you in? And what sort of decision should you make? So with that, they suggest there's 5 different decision-making styles that a leader can engage in. So the first one is called Autocratic. Okay, what do you know? Mm-hmm. So this is where a leader sort of chooses they get the information they've got available to them at the time, and they make the decision. They pull the trigger on the decision. The second type of decision-making style is also called autocratic. It's A2. This is where the leader might go out and grab information from a few people and then again come back and make the decision on their own. The third type of decision-making style is called Consultative, or C1. And this is where the leader meets with people one-on-one to gather some information, and then they go and make a decision where the input that they gathered in those one-on-one meetings may or may not be reflected in the final decision. Okay. Moving further along the continuum, you've got C2, or also consultative decision-making style, and this is where the leader meets with a group and again gathers information. And I would think, as a leader, by the time you get to this stage, you're going to at least want to consider some of the feedback that you're asking for. Otherwise, it might not be such a good idea, to go out and pull people together to do this thing. And the fifth type of decision-making style is a group decision. So this is when you get everybody around the table and you say, okay, we need a consensus, and we're gonna go ahead and do our thing. Interestingly, a lot of leaders think that they always have to, you need to be consultative with your people. You always need to involve people in decisions. That's really good a lot of the time, but there's also some situations where managers should make decisions autocratically, even though that kind of gets a bad rap.
And so that's where in the full-length podcast we get into a whole lot more depth about, okay, well, depending on your situation, as Vroom and Yetton would suggest, you would choose one of these 5. And in the full-length version of the podcast, we actually take the listeners through a bit of a decision, how we would decide which of these decision-making styles would fit best.
Yeah, that's right. So there's 7 key questions that Vroom and Yetton ask you to consider, and I've thrown a flowchart up on the website, and there's one in the video version of the podcast that leads people through. So again, if you're a leader in this situation, you can answer 7 very simple questions, and it will suggest to you the answers that you give to those questions, what the most appropriate decision-making style is to the situation that you find yourself in.
All right, cool. Well, to learn how to do that, check us out at the Wiley Manager Podcast. You can pick that up either through iTunes or through our website at wileymanager.com. Thanks,
All right.
Bob.
See you next time, Jed.